In the shallow, brackish waters of the tidal Thames, the stricken mammal was out of its depth. The 20-foot bottlenose whale lost and disorientated in the current, but finally it was coaxed onto the foreshore.
This is what we've been wanting to do. I know many people have been suggesting that we should try to get into the deep water beforehand and try and control it, but as you can see, now we've got it into this kind of stranded position. This is the situation where we can actually use the skills, the training and the equipment we have to start dealing with the situation.
With the animal distressed, teams of welfare experts provided calming hands, soothing the beast as it floundered on the water-smoothed gravel.
And as you can see, people are now placing their hands flat on the animal. These animals have very delicate skin, and it's very important that we use flat hands, gentle movements. Their skin is very delicate and can be fairly easily damaged. As you can see from the tail fluke, as it comes up and down every now and then, has some damage along the leading edge of it, and that's not unusual for animals that have stranded and have been in shallow water. So they're stabilising it now, try and keep it calm, and I would imagine the idea is probably to bring the pontoon set in fairly soon.
The animal's physical condition was also a major worry. Samples of blubber and blood were taken for analysis.
Well, a lot of the difficulty is the fact that a northern bottlenose whale is very rarely seen, never mind in the Thames, in the North Sea. So what we've got going on down there at the moment is, new water for everybody. What they were doing at the moment is they'll be assessing the situation, trying to get a veterinary to look at the whale and to assess what they can do. You can see that they've got pontoons floating underneath the whale to stabilise it. That whale will be very distressed, very disoriented, and won't know what on earth is going on.
A cut and bleeding from a submerged wound had also been causing concern. Was the whale fit enough to be rescued, and would it be able to fend for itself if released back into the wild?
He looks as if he's maybe quite stressed already, and the fact that he's been stranded twice and been pushed back into the water is obviously the main thing is his stress levels. He would be quite agitated by now, I would say.
With time slipping away, an inflatable cradle was used to support the beast. Crowds could only look on in helplessness and amazement as they streamed into the heart of the capital. This spectacle has brought with it crowds from across London. Now, some of the people here have dubbed the whale Willie. But unlike the film script, it may not have a happy ending. Willie may not be freed. This rescue operation brings with it many hazards and many risks. As the hours passed, a plan began to take shape. The whale would be moved to ensure the safety of the rescuers. The rising tide, another complication for the team.
The problem is it's so far up into London that it is going to be quite a while before it can actually get back out to sea. And it's had a try, but naturally it's going to go against the tide, which is always the wrong way for us. We wanted to go with the tide and out.
Slowly the whale was guided back down the Thames, its destination a waiting barge. Tentatively, the animal was raised from its unfamiliar surroundings to something even more confusing. On board, water was trained over its skin, making its journey on a vessel more used to salvaging scrap than stranded leviathans of the deep.
Well, there's still a lot of care and there's still a lot of work to be done yet with this animal. Of course, the animal now is even in an even more alien environment to where it has been for the last few days. I think the barge may be just moving now. Obviously it's been in this shallow area for the last couple of days. Now, of course, it's not even in the water, but it's moving. We're on our way, and our fingers are crossed. But I do make sure that people do realise that we're not out of the woods yet.
It's thought the whale had been in the Thames for between 2 and 3 days. It had swum 40 miles from the open sea to the Houses of Parliament. Experts say it may have been chasing a school of fish or simply become disorientated in the shallow estuary. Others think naval activity may be to blame.
If there'd been military activity using very loud sonar devices in the southern North Sea, that it may have injured the whale that's currently being rescued, and an indication that that may have happened would be that other animals would start to be found around the southern North Sea.
But as the whale was ferried down the Thames, some good news. Samples taken from its blood and blubber had given cause for optimism.
The situation is that the condition of the whale is reasonable. It is in a pretty reasonable condition. And it does mean that we are looking pretty positive about being able to release the whale. However, what we need to bear in mind is that this is a deep-sea species. This is not an animal that we can release into the Thames estuary or into the North Sea. This animal needs to be heading towards the Atlantic, so if we're to release it, this is an animal that we need to try and get off the south coast of the UK.
For the rescue workers, it has been a tense operation, but after hours of work, the whale may soon be free. Perhaps it will be a happy ending for Willie, the Thames whale. Alex Rossi, Sky News in central London.